Greetings, family. Happy Tuesday. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I just finished my walk and I literally had to run off the track. Well, not literally run, but speed walk off the track because the track and field people were coming and all this other stuff. I think it was football practice, so I had to get off the track. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Rhodey, A-Rod for Yankees. Welcome. Whew, family, I know it's been a while. Back to making the donuts and learning how to make the donuts. Let me see if I can find my mic. I'm still waiting on my personal assistant. Okay, so is it in this bag or is it in the other bag? All right. Welcome. I'm gonna let you enjoy the view of the sun peeking through the trees while I stretch. Because I haven't stretched. I don't want to catch any cramps. And I'm going to get my mic. There we go. No fly. Shoe fly. Don't bother me. All right. Where you at, Mike? Mike. Where you at? Mike, where you at? Now, in my mind, I grabbed the mic off the island this morning. In my mind. Now, whether that actually happened, I don't know. Oh, crap. I don't have it. All right. I don't have everything else. All right, guys. This morning, before I left the house, I made dinner. I know you all know all about that. Okay. I could have swore I put my mic in my bag. So anytime I can't find something, I'm like, somebody stole it. Somebody stole it. They stole it. If I don't see it, somebody stole it. But I guarantee you, if I check my cameras, it's right at home on the island. Okay. No worries. No worries. So family, I just finished walking on the track and I just need to stretch. If I don't stretch, then it's not gonna be good. I might catch a Charlie horse when I'm sleeping, right? Hey. After these messages, we'll be right back. No, I'm just joking. There are no messages yet. There aren't any messages yet. Okay. So, today makes day 52. Day 52. So in order for me to talk with you all in regards to the Nancy Guthrie case, I have to do 80 million things at one time. That's just my reality. Well, we're going to talk about some things, including no, don't do this to me. Including information that just came out in regards to the Pima County Sheriff. Phone, please don't fall. Please don't fall. Now, I don't say too. It decided to try to fall, right? It's very windy out here. So I'm just stretching my legs, stretching my hamstrings. I have one more day for the Grow with Joe 6-week challenge. I went walking instead of doing the last day. So, oh, that feels so good. Oh, that stretch feels so good, y'all. And my hamstring. I definitely need a massage. But until I can get one, I have to do it myself. Please don't fall, because I'm holding my hand. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay. I hope you all can hear me. Greetings, greetings, greetings. So, the shirt says Zumba. No. It's always someone trying to tell someone else what to do with their body. Thank you for your information. I need to stretch. I do not do all my stretching during walking. I need to stretch. All of this hurts. All of this. All of this. All of this. So yes, I just need to stretch. And I need my phone not to fall. Greetings, family. Happy Tuesday. Just give me 1 second. Let me just finish stretching. Oh. And if you know, like I know, everybody needs some stretching, especially as you get older. You better stretch. Oh. Yes. Oh. All right. Whew. Other way. All right. Okay. Whew. Guys, thank you for allowing me to stretch. I appreciate you. Okay. All right, I feel a little bit better now. Whew. Oh my God. Lord Jesus. I walked in that sun. It's 96 degrees outside. Okay. Thank you. Oh man. D. Roberts, welcome family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I could pull this out. Let me see. Oh, is that as far as it's going? Yes. I can pull my seat up. All right. Whew. Okay. All right, family. Today is Tuesday. I'm not going to keep you. I have a lot to do when I get home, right? But I did want to talk about some things in regards to the Nancy Guthrie abduction. Today makes day 52. Day 52. Hello. Hello. Does anyone love water the way I do? That water. Yes, yes, yes. So today makes day 52. And we know a few things have happened so far. Most recently is what happened within the Pima County local law enforcement. No, not law enforcement, but within the law. I can't believe I'm watching this in real time, though. From a local sheriff to a celebrity's mom being abducted, and then 52 days later, we're still waiting on some information as to what's going on and what has happened. So let's get to this. The title of this is Crime Rippling Effects. And when crime happens, it affects everyone. It just doesn't affect the person or the victim. It affects the family members. It affects friends. It affects people that are within that person's, if that person is, what's the word I'm looking for? Active in any community activities or community groups, such as church, the gym, you know, the local supermarket, the community, right? The fact that there has been all of these things that has happened with law enforcement, and then law enforcement, specifically the sheriff, stating that, you know, he has evidence. There's a lot of evidence, but they're not sharing it with us. Fine, you're not sharing it with the public, but something needs to be shared in order for the public to be able to help. This has been said from the beginning. Something needs to be shared so that the public can help. It did. A tiger attacked me, right? And my tiger stripes are on my back. So let's go over a few things. We know that we do know that, hold on. Okay, so I literally came off the track and just hopped on here. And if you all know that when I work out, I turn my brain off. So my brain, I'm trying to get my brain to come back like, hey, you have to do this live. So let me see. Okay. That's what it is. It's in that phone. That's okay. All right. So there are a few articles that I came across that I wanted to talk about. The most recent one is what the family has, what Savannah has released. Let me see. So, per KVOA, we all know that the Guthrie family has released a new heartfelt message to the Tucson community. Now, per KVOH, it says Nancy Guthrie's family asked us here at News 4 Tucson to share their new heartfelt message with the Tucson community. We are deeply grateful for the outpouring from neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. It's sad that this was a it's sad that there is trauma bonding, right? The family, we may have not met Nancy, but Nancy is the grandmother to the world, right? The world's grandmother. And it's and the fact that she is still missing, it's, I think a lot of us are feeling that it's no longer a missing person, that it could be something else, right? I think a lot of us are feeling like that. So it says, we continue to believe it is Tucsonans and the great southern Arizona community that hold the key to finding resolution in this case. Yes, someone knows something. Someone in this community knows something. I just wish that other people were talking. And maybe they're just afraid. They're afraid, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to get the death penalty. I'm going to get something. I mean, they do have the death penalty here in Arizona. So that's a possibility. But it says, it's possible a member of this community has information that they don't even realize is significant. We hope people search their memories, especially around the key times of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th. Now, this is extremely important because I don't remember them ever sharing any dates, right? So at least we know that something is happening, that law enforcement is still working with the clues that they have, but with them sharing specific dates, that's important. So I did hear quite a few. I think Brian Ensign always, he was saying January 11th, January 11th. There were quite a bit of mainstream media that was talking about January 11th. But we desperately ask that this community for renewed attention to our mom's case. Please consult camera footage, journal notes, text messages, observations, or conversations that in retrospect may hold significance. No detail is too small. It may be the key. We miss our mom with every breath, and we cannot be in peace until she is home. We cannot grieve. We can only ache and wonder. That's the sad part. You know, the not knowing. You know, a lot of times when things happen, let me finish this and I'll come back to that. The not knowing. They said that we want to celebrate her beautiful and courageous life, but we cannot do that until she is brought to a final place of rest. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing. The Guthrie family, Cameron, Kristen, Annie and Tommaso, Savannah and Michael. Now, the ache and the wonder. I saw a true crime story recently, and greetings, unforgivable sins. Thank you so much. Welcome. I know it's been a while, you all, but vacation is over. It's back to the old drawing board. So I was watching a true crime story the other day, and unfortunately, it was in Arizona. It's always in Arizona. I don't know what the heck is going on about Arizona, but the fact that it is desert and there is vast land, you can hide anything anywhere in Arizona. And that's an obstacle in itself for law enforcement and everyone. Now, there was this guy. Now, this was really weird. There was this guy, and I guess he was doing some type of criminal activity when it comes to money. And his lawyer told him, you better run. The lawyer told him he better run. So he went running, right? Because the feds were watching him. The feds were investigating him. Now, long story short, like I said, I'm watching a true crime show. So I know when it came on, they said they found a leg, they found a torso, they found this, they found that. Now, when I say the ache and the wonder, how did they find the person that did this? Well, everything pointed to the wife, because the wife wasn't angry. She never sent that hate email. How could you leave me like this? How could you do this to the family? She never sent that email. So they started investigating her. So then they came to the son. And that's where I say the ache and the wonder, because that's how he played on, not played on his mother's heart, but he kept saying, where's dad? Where's dad? We need to know where dad is. You know, we need to know so we can put this to rest. What happened to him? And that's, I feel like that's where people feel now. Where's Nancy? We've been saying, where is Nancy? But now it's like day 52 of her abduction, not a kidnapping because she's not a kid, but her abduction, right? She was abducted from her home 52 days ago. And this crime is still rippling through the family, through the community, you know. Unfortunately, what happens is, you know, people have to get back to life. And for them to not be able to put this to rest, I'm happy that they're finally releasing some things. But the fact that there are neighbors that do not want to share or release their footage, their camera footage for those days, is absolutely astounding to me. And I wouldn't know why. We talk about community. We talk about helping our brothers and sisters, but mostly community. Now, I don't know how close that community actually is, because, you know, Nancy home was $1 million home. $1 million plus. So I don't know how interactive the family is. I mean, the community is with each other. Maybe they just see each other. Hi. How you doing? All's well? Yeah. Happy holidays, you know. But the fact that if someone was missing in my community and the only thing that they're asking for is my camera footage, okay, is there something that they don't want to be seen? But it's like they don't want camera footage inside your home. They want camera footage on the outside. So from day one, this story, this abduction, this crime has been mind-boggling to everyone, not just law enforcement, but to us. Greetings and welcome. It has been mind-boggling to everyone because it just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm in a parking lot, so y'all gonna see me look around, right? I gotta be aware of my surroundings. J-Cat, you are saying this person knows it. You know, a lot of people are saying that, but at this point in time, all we have is opinions. All we have is opinions. And we can agree on this. Someone or some people know something. But how many times have people kept their mouths shut? You know, we talk about no snitching in my community, but I realize the no snitching is across all communities. No snitching. And we've been hoping and praying that at some point in time that someone will say something. Someone will be like, okay, it's just wearing on me too much. I have to say something. But I guess it hasn't been enough time. But at this point, all we're doing is pulling on people's heartstrings. That's the only thing that the media can do, whether they're independent journalists or the mainstream media. The only thing they can do is pull on someone's heartstrings and hope that someone says something. Now, as far as law enforcement, that's a whole nother story, because law enforcement has way more information than we have. I commend the independent journalists that are still out there riding around looking, because I mean, Nancy could be anywhere. And I can't imagine my mother being abducted from her home and we don't know anything. That's what continues to bother me, and I guarantee you it bothers everyone else. Is like, well, I just hope law enforcement knows more than they're telling us, and they're working it behind the scenes. Okay, so let's listen to this. Give me 1 second. Let me turn this off.
From 5 Halloweens to 5 4th of July.
Ads. Everybody has an ad, right? It is unfair to Nancy. Okay, so let's see. I'm surprised my phone didn't die while I was out there. Okay, so.
From neighbors, friends, and the people of Tucson. We are all family now. We continue to believe it is Tucson.
Okay, so that is just, that's exactly what I just read. Okay. So it was a written statement, and I don't know what else they can do. Because if you go to someone's home and you're like, hey, do you have camera footage? Can we see the camera footage? When I heard that the neighbors were just like, we're not going to give up the footage, and I'm just like, what? I think Behind Green Eyes came on here and said it. And also, I think I heard it on Brian Enton. And it's just like, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. All right, so this is it. Okay. I got away from my tree here, and now the tree is blowing in stuff because I'm parked underneath a tree. I wanted to just be under some shade. So I sent a few articles to myself in regards to this. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Okay. What is that? Oh, no. Heck no. No. Nope. Nope. I gotta roll this window up. Nope. I'll keep this one down. And I'll bring this one down. Because everything is blowing right in here. No. Okay. So, okay, so now so the New York Post a few days ago spoke about, they released an article of the last known footage of Nancy Guthrie turned over to the FBI, the report says. This was from the New York Post on March 19th. Investigators have what they believe is the last known footage of Nancy Guthrie riding in an Uber the day before she vanished, according to a report. The apparent surveillance video of the 84-year-old, which hasn't been released publicly, so we haven't seen it. We heard of this information, but we haven't seen it, was seized by authorities early on in the probe. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace reported. The clip seemingly shows Guthrie in an Uber en route to her daughter Annie Guthrie's home in Tucson. Okay, so I want to see. Okay. No. On January 31st, according to the crime show. Oh. Sorry, guys. The bug just came and tried to sweet talk me in my ear. The Uber driver turned over all of the video from the inside of turned over all the video from inside the vehicle. Crime Stories Investigative reporter Dave Mack alleged this was looked by the investigation, they found nothing of substance of anything of Nancy Guthrie in the vehicle. Anything she said, her demeanor, nothing was mentioned. This is why I feel like a lot of people, this is why, people were saying that they don't think that she even got home. So them having this footage of her in the Uber shows that she did make it home, right? They interviewed the Uber driver at length, and again, there was nothing to report. It was just a regular pickup and drop off. The Post wasn't able to immediately confirm the existence of the Uber footage. So far, investigators have only released surveillance video of what we've seen, the mass perp caught on Guthrie's doorbell on February 1st. Guthrie had been dropped home around 9:45 p.m. on January 1st by her son. Now, I got that wrong. So she took an Uber there and she was dropped off by Tommaso Cioni when she came home. I got that backwards. So at least they did get the footage showing that she got there, but I don't think that was in question if she got to her daughter's home, right? That wasn't in question. The question was, did she make it home safely? So the fact that she was dropped off home, there's no footage of that. Unless there was footage in the home. But all of these things are just speculation because they're not really telling us too much and they're not releasing anything. Now, and I say them telling us, law enforcement telling the public exposes the abductors to what they know, right? So, of course, they're not going to tell us anything. I will hope detectives could still get that footage by going to a judge and asking for a warrant. Of course, they would need to know who the footage is saved to. That's the issue, unforgivable sins, right? I guess they would be able to get a search warrant and just hope that that footage is still in the archives or on an SD card, because let's say for example, I was one of the ones that I said, no, I'm not giving my footage. I don't want to be involved, right? Now, if I tell the FBI that, or if I tell law enforcement that, then law enforcement can totally go, right? They can, who's this address? That's if they didn't tell them their name, in the first place. They have the address, they can get the name. The FBI, them federal resources are astronomical, or astounding, amazing, effective, something I wish I had my hands on, right? But they would be able to get a search warrant for said information. But I don't even think, why waste law enforcement's time and resources to do that? Why waste community money, community taxpayers' money to do that? I don't understand why they wouldn't release it. That's just a big question to me, right? Did they release the names? I don't understand why a neighbor would not release their CCTV footage when their neighbor was abducted. I can't wrap my brain around that. I understand the no snitching, but in reality, no snitching means if me and this person go and do a crime and I get caught and I'm like, oh, well, this person, blah, 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 that's snitching, right? But if I'm living in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood and I see a masked perpetrator that don't belong here, and I see what kind of car they drive, and I just so happen to be that nosy neighbor, and I write down their license plate number, and then I'm just a nosy neighbor looking at everything, and then I see, wow, my neighbor was abducted. Is that the same person? Well, 911 FBI, they said don't call 911. You call the FBI, you call Pima County Sheriff's Department, the non-emergency line, I guess. But hey, what the hell is that? Oh, water is coming up. Right? Yo, I'm like, what is this? By the tree. You see? That's all I saw. I'm like, what the hell is that? So, if 911, I mean, if I had information, of course, I'm going to contact the FBI. I'm going, yes, so I have this, blah, 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 da, 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 da. That's not snitching. That's looking out for your damn community, right? So this goes for all people. You know, we thought that no snitching was just in my community, but the no snitching is stupid. It seems like the criminals made up the no snitching, right? Because what about a law-abiding citizen? We know that this one, Johnny, is out here robbing everybody that's not locked down, just picking people up and just taking them, right? We know Johnny wilding, so we don't say anything. Oh, well, yeah, we can't say anything. Johnny is destroying the neighborhood. And we're not supposed to say, that doesn't make any sense to me. I can't wrap my brain around it. And I really don't want, I know this is going to go on one of the TV shows, A Crime to Remember. I just don't want this to be an unsolved crime for forever. And then next thing we know, it's like the dude. They found his torso one place, his arm, his leg. His wife did it. His wife was so angry. And she just sliced up the meat and then drove around the desert. And I just hope that I'm never that angry with someone that I want to take their life. That's one of the reasons why I gotta stay out the Gambia, because that anger that situation woke up scares me. I'm like, oh, could I do a 187? I don't know. These people didn't woke up the devil in me. So I mean, but I'm staying away. But okay. I say there is a phone app on Nancy's phone to open the garage from anywhere. Okay. So that's interesting. I don't think I would want a phone app like that. Oh, JCat, I don't think I would want a phone app like that. Is there really a phone app that exists like that where I can open up my garage from anywhere? Y'all know technology really doesn't like me, okay? I be sweating technology. Technology like, girl, get out of here. I don't like you like that. So if there's a phone app that's like that, I don't think I would want that. Because what happens if I lose my phone? What happens if somebody takes my phone? They can open up my garage. Ooh. I guess it will probably be some security and stuff on there, but I don't know. I didn't even know that something like that existed. Let me see. That's what I was thinking, Alexa. But if they didn't have Alexa in the house to protect her, for her to say, Alexa, call 911. You know, that's the give and the take with technology, right? Technology is all up in your business. And then it's like, I want privacy. I want my privacy too. I don't want my privacy to be violated. But anytime you purchase one of these, we're signing away our privacy left, right, and all around. Right now, I guarantee you, this case, once it's solved, it will be used for what not to do and things, preventative care and preventative options, different security measures. It's just my brain hurts sometimes when I think about it. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. What it looked like was somebody just, because I told you like the tree stuff is falling, right? So it looked like it just did like this, and I'm like, what? Nothing is in front of me. But yes, it was a sprinkler. Makes no sense to me either, unless there was some involvement on their part in some way. All I can say is it looks like this was well planned out. Now, whether this was their first time doing an abduction or it was a mistake and she transitioned through during the process, because this is my thing. If you planned it out so much so, then wouldn't you know that she has health issues? Wouldn't you know how old she is? Wouldn't you know that she's on medication? Right? That's one thing. If it's really planned out and we going to abduct this woman for money. Whatever they said, right? Whatever the conversation was, it's like, so you would know that she's on medication. You would know that she's 84, right? So you know that, okay, if someone's 84, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be on at least one med. They're not going to be able to move that fast. So this is why I say it just doesn't make sense. So either the abductors, because they said it was multiple abductors. I don't think it was just one. So either the abductors were complete imbeciles, or they were criminal masterminds. Because if we're at day 52 and we are no closer than we were at day 1, this is pessimistic Patty is trying to come back. Y'all know I've been trying to be optimistic Olga, right? I've been being optimistic Olga. We got this. We got this. You know, Nancy she's alive. She's alive. And now I'm like, well, day 52, I'm like, there's no sign of life. They're not even trying to say there's any sign of life. They're not trying to show anything. The whole ransom and everything about the money is just going bye-bye. I'm just like, okay, so now it goes from search and rescue to recovery. I don't know. They are acting like, okay, yes. Talking about the neighbors, they're acting like, now that could be it, J-Cat. So Natty said they're acting like they are so safe. They are safe. So strange. J-Cat says they are probably scared of retaliation. Now with that, if they're scared of retaliation, let's take that a little bit further. Do they know who did it? Then that will make me even more afraid. Right? I'll be like, look, you want this information? I need to sell my house and put me in witness protection. If it's that bad. So, because, I mean, okay, so let's play devil's advocate. If they're afraid of retaliation, then they have seen, or maybe they're afraid of retaliation from anyone. They don't know who did it. I'm scared that they're going to retaliate. Okay. Because they know I have information, or they don't know I have information. That will make me even more afraid, because now I'm like, well, what makes me off limits? I live on this street. I'm her next door neighbor. I'm her neighbor behind her. I'm the neighbor up here. You know, it's, I don't know. Would, if you all had the information, would you release it? Or would you keep it out of fear? Okay, so let me see. Thank you, Eliza. I did a video. There are no more curls in it though. It was some curls yesterday. I did a video so y'all can see it. I just went walking today. I finally put my hair in a protective style. And yes, Tay Tay did it herself. Because I'm pores. Oz pores. I can't pay for nobody else to do my hair. Let me stop. I should stop talking like that, right? No, seriously, I'm not going to pay someone to do my hair because most of the people that do this are continental Africans. And if you look, they have no edges and they will braid your hair and pull your hair out because they think that the extensions should be taken care of more than your real hair. And that's not how I think, right? My real hair needs to be good, good, good. And then I put the extensions in. I'm not going to take care of hair I bought better than I take care of my natural hair. But thank you so much. I had to say that, right? B just did a story. Okay. Of a woman who robbed this man after a couple of drinks of over 135,000 using his phone with his pictures and See, unforgivable sins. So BE, which I think that's Brian Enter, just did a story, and maybe I'm wrong, of a woman who robbed this man after a couple of drinks of over 135,000 using his phone with his pictures and thumbprint. So store nothing on your phones. I don't have that much money. Let me stop. But but you know, it's like, oh, it makes your life so much easier, right? But a lot of times I'm like, no, don't store my password. I'm typing this password in every time. But out of convenience, we give away a lot of our privacy. We sign it away. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that Caucasian nanny. Okay, I know it, Brian. So I know you say this all the time because JCat has Tommaso tried and convicted, right? So what evidence do you have, or is this just a gut feeling for you? Because I know conversations, I know of conversations that he's had, and he is going through it. I hope he's in some therapy, but he is going through it. And he can't talk about it with his students because they're underage, but he did say, when you turn 18, I'm going to tell you how wicked this world is and how wicked people can be. Me paraphrasing what he has said. If you break the keypad, the only way to get in is to drill. And remember, someone went in and drilled. Thank you, Pete White. Get a platinum finger wave. Y'all telling me all this. I don't even know anything about that. I think they wanted something in the safe, but it was a timer safe and it didn't go off. So got tools and tried to break into the safe. Now, I didn't. Okay, Caucasian nanny. You have some information that I didn't know about a safe. Is that private information? I didn't remember hearing anything about a safe. Okay, so Carrie Lynn think he has a part in it. I love that. Unforgivable Sin said, everyone be sure to leave your DNA on that like button for our girl Tay Tay. I appreciate that. Hi, Miss Judy. Okay, now Caucasian Nanny says, I hope the camera companies add GPS to the cameras. Are you talking about like home cameras? Well, Why do you say that? In case they take the camera, you're saying that you hope that they add GPS. You know, that's just another thing, the privacy, you know, the fact that they got to go through these DNA companies because we want our privacy until it happens to us. Then we like kick in the door, wave in the 4-4. We want all the information, right? Then it's something different, but at least we do know. Okay. So they could track the broken one. but could they still do it, right? So because we see on the movies when they have the little SD card, once you stomp it, right, then I guess it's tracked to that location. Oh man, there's so many ways to think about this, and all we can do right now is use it for preventative and security measures in our own lives. Because looking at this case, we just see that there were so many oh, you were a detective. Okay, let me see. Excuse me. Okay, so it's just a gut feeling. And well, okay, so he said gut feeling I was a detective. Okay. The only thing, okay, so now we're waiting on the DNA, right? For them to be able to get the DNA through to do the DNA like ancestry, right? That's the only thing we're waiting on in regards to the DNA, because the other DNA I think is just mixed and I think is just done. But that's going to bring me to what has happened recently with Sheriff Chris Nanos. Now, I don't know about, I'm only saying this because of his affiliation, right? Politically. Because y'all know I always tell you politics is above my grade. But what I do know is he is a Democrat. Right? So when our last election, that was the first time that I voted for Republican, because I was like, I don't want him. So that was the first time that I did vote Republican, and I lost. Go figure. I lost, right? Yes, he only won by a certain amount of votes. So evidently it was close, right? Oh, okay. They need a built-in GPS with an extended battery. Now, if they start adding all that stuff, what's gonna happen? The price is gonna go up and people are gonna be complaining, right? I think if I'm talking about technology and what could have helped Nancy is an Alexa. And I'm just amazed that they did not have an Alexa for her. I really am. Because at her age, unless she didn't want it, but I feel like they doing track and field on the track, and I'm like, unless she didn't want it. But this is my thing. Okay, so if she didn't want it, then that means she would have known that it listens to her. I don't think Nancy was that up on, maybe I'm wrong. I could totally be wrong, y'all. I could totally be wrong. Maybe she was up on the technology. I don't know. But I feel like if there was anything that could actually help her, yes, the subscription for her cameras. I don't even know why that had lapsed. But her having an Alexa, I think would have helped her tremendously. Not even with the abduction, but with anything that she needed. So now we're just sitting here, we're like, well, we don't know anything. If there was a suspect or someone that I don't know, I feel like they must have some information if they're telling you, if they're giving specific dates, right? Besides January 31st, besides February, or early in the morning, February 1st, they're giving specific dates as of January 11th, which means that was, 2 weeks before she was abducted. So I feel like they know something, but maybe they don't want to scare the suspect, so they're just giving little bits of information. But if they could corroborate some information. I don't know. J-Cat, you were a detective. Wait, what? Hold on. Alexa, what? The new Alexa won't dial 911? Because I remember watching a true crime episode. And they were saying that, oh God, this was so bad. And this was caught on camera. Her 187 was caught on camera by her ex. And she had just moved in. The cameras were set up, but she didn't set up the voice. So she's Alexa, and her voice wasn't the same because, right? So I think she realized that he wasn't going to stop. Which, I watch true crime, but when you really think about that, it's like, she was trying to call Alexa, call 911, and it specifically said, the narrator said, she hadn't programmed it yet, like Unforgivable Sin said, that she can be programmed to call 911. And I mean, if you're going to use Alexa to ask her about little small things, those are things that I feel are extremely important, right? Alexa, call 911, especially for an 84-year-old woman, man, 84-year-old dog, 84-year-old anything. I would think that that is what Alexa would be for. Alexa, call Annie. Alexa, call Savannah. Alexa, call Cameron. Alexa, call my doctor's office. Which one? Nancy? Oh, call Dr. So-and-so and so. You see what I'm saying? I think that would be more of a personal assistant for her, for an 84-year-old. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I have an Alexa. The only thing I don't like is when she says my name. I'm going to teach her a different name. Tay, every time you say Alexa, my Alexa says, I don't know how to help you with that. She like, I don't know that voice. I don't know that voice. Greetings, Judy. You see, she says, I'm happy that I have Siri. So Siri and Alexa, I think, are like competition, right? Siri is with Apple. Alexa's with, is that an Android? I don't know. I never really wanted an Alexa once it sounded cool. But once they were like, oh, she's always listening. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal, but I don't think I want anything listening to me all the time. But in reality, this is always listening. My laptop, my tablet. What does Mark Zuckerberg says? I wonder what happened with that case. Y'all know all of the Zuckerberg was in court again, right? For the people, something about the children, the algorithms focusing on the children. So y'all know Zuckerberg was in court again recently, right? I need to see what happened with that. But and Mr. Bill Cosby done lost another what's the name? I'm like, damn, they gonna take all your money. All right, we're not even gonna go into that. But did you unplug it for the moment, right? Oh, she probably getting. I'm like, she like, look, I need this girl to stop saying my name, okay? Say my name, say my name. She was really trying to help me out. Oh man. Well, J-Cat, that's the thing. Wait, Alexa was about to call 911. She said, oh, you want me to call 911? Okay, I'll do that for you. But now Alexa needs to be programmed to someone's voice, right? She just can't, if she keep hearing me say, Alexa, come on over here and cook me some dinner, right? They got the new Alexa, Alexa Plus. Those are the ones that argue with you. I'm like, yo, we about to really transition into the iRobot. It's just scary, right? Because now we have AI, which is artificial intelligence. So as AI grows, how many times have we seen, y'all saw the movie Meg? How many times have we seen AI is like, I don't need you no more. I can think on my own. Now AI wilding. Right? I think is this true? I saw on a Facebook page that AI has created, and that may have just been AI. It said that AI created a robot, no humans page. I don't know if that's really true, right? We are living in the Jetsons. I never thought, I wanted to do a video about that. I am an 80s baby, and the stuff that I have lived through is absolutely crazy. I mean, how many wars have I lived through? The Saddam War. Was that the Gulf War? I think that was the Gulf War. The Iran, I don't know how many wars. Iraq War that lasted about 25 years. And then now there's an Iran war. This is 3 wars, probably more than that I have lived through, right? I done lived through the pandemic. There are a lot of instrumental things that are happening that I remember in my day and age. So I can imagine people that are older than me, people that are younger than me. But the Jetsons, the tablet, that was a tablet. That was what? FaceTime, Google Meet, right? The watch, that was an Apple Watch, a smart watch. It's like, I don't know. People are progressive in their thinking, but that was real. Like, I'm 46. I will be 47 this year. So that means that was over almost 4 decades ago that the Jetsons were out. Now we have electric vehicles. I mean, we don't have flying vehicles, but I think they're coming. I don't know. That would be a hot mess. People can't drive on the road. Can you imagine them driving in the streets? I mean, in the sky. Okay, so let me see. That was that one. Okay, so you all heard that she's responded to you, Tay. She will even respond. Oh, that's it. She responds to anyone. That's interesting. So do you all have the first one, or do you have, what is it, Alexa Plus? I think they got Alexa Plus now. Alexa, wake up, you spray tan troll. I said, what the hell? She said, you look good for a corpse. I'm like, yo, I would not want my artificial intelligence assistant waking me up, gunning me. I'd be like, B, what the F is wrong with you? I wouldn't want that. Wake up, you spray tan troll. That was so funny. I kept calling her Alyssa for some reason, and she would get aggravated because she would... No, you would get aggravated because she wouldn't respond. That's funny. Okay. You go way back to the Vietnam War. We have seen... I'm getting hot now, y'all, sitting in this car. I feel like we have seen entirely too much. And we are, okay, I'm saying we, but I'm a civilian. The sun is finally going under the, all right, y'all. These windows are up. These windows are down. I'm getting hot now. The sun is finally going down past the mountain. So, but I feel like we have seen too much. And just think about it. I thought I turned this down. Just think about it. I am what they call a civilian. So can you imagine the people that were in the military? Or people who are police, they see so much. They see so much that normal people don't see on a regular. Like, we're at war right now. We going on about our lives like nothing, like everything is awesome, everything is fine. Now, this shirt is hot as heck. I think it's pure cotton. And it's white, though, but it's hot as heck. I took it off as I did my walk, though. So let's get into this. Wait. So yes, I remember the Gulf War because I was in Virginia at that time. I think that was in the 90s, right? I remember that. And I think the Iraq War, one of my friends from high school, he was in the army and he went. I don't know if he did 1 or 2 tours. He married this young girl, got her pregnant. He went to Iraq, I think, for 6 months. And she got pregnant and had an abortion. Next thing you know, they got a divorce. I said, well, Jesus Christ. But it happens, right? Okay, so that's funny. You make me want, Unforgivable Sins, you make me want to get on Alexa, right? Just to be messing with her. Okay, so let's talk about this. There is now this comes from an interesting website, but this is realtor.com. So they have news and insight, but they're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. So it says Nancy Guthrie investigators are asking about vacant properties, asking about vacant property near her home. Expert reveals how it may have been used in her disappearance. So we do know that they were recently, I think BE was talking about they were looking into the vacant properties or the properties that were being built, because it's not like Asbury Park, New Jersey, where there's going to be vacant homes. These are homes that are being built, right? It's the homes are vacant because it's a vacant property and the property, things are being built. It's not like the projects, right? Nancy home was over $1 million, valued over $1 million. FBI agents who are investigating Nancy Guthrie's disappearance are reportedly looking into a vacant property in her Arizona neighborhood as the search for the missing 84-year-old nears the end of its 7th week. Now, this was 4 days ago. This article came 4 days ago, right? Guthrie, who is the mother of the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie, we know that, disappeared from her home in the Catalina foothills. We know that. I'm going to close with something that just happened in Catalina foothills recently. In the early hours of February 1st, we know that it was a targeted abduction. We know that. Video coverage, we know that. Okay, so it says video footage captured by a security camera mounted in the doorway of her $1 million home. So this is why I told y'all I heard the house was worth $1 million. So of course, realtor.com will say her $1 million home showed a masked armed intruder approaching the dwelling shortly before she is thought to have been abducted, kidnapped. However, authorities have yet to identify the person in the clip. So we know that. Okay. So for weeks, investigators have been canvassing her Arizona neighborhood, speaking to neighbors. I think that they should have been doing it way before they did, but that's neither here nor there. Examining security footage from local dwellings and interviewing anyone who might have had contact with her before she disappeared. Now, our boy, News Nation correspondent Brian Enton, they say he went home. I'm like, well, where does he live? He lives in Florida. Okay. Who has been on the ground outside of Tucson for weeks. Excuse me. My son always sweating me, y'all. My son be sweating me. My son said, I thought you was going to be home at 6:30. I'm not home. So now my son said, okay, so you're going to be home at 7:30? All right, son. Hopefully I'll be home at 7:30. Okay. So now News Nation correspondent Brian Enton, who has been on the ground outside of Tucson for weeks, reports that local FBI agents may have turned their attention to another target, a property in Nancy's neighborhood that was vacated by its residents before her disappearance. Okay. So I told you I heard about Brian Enton and things like that. Now, some of the things that they're talking about is there's one neighbor that moved out before Nancy disappeared. And they're asking more questions about that situation. Enton revealed on a recent episode of his YouTube show, Brian Enton Investigates. Shout out to you, Brian. Not to say that that has anything to do with what happened, but that is something the FBI agents are asking about, Brian states. While Enton did not share any other details about why the property may have lured interest from the authorities, retired Pima County SWAT Commander Bob Krieger shed some light on how the dwelling might have played a role in Nancy's capture in a new interview with Parade. Let's see what Krieger states. Krieger explained that oftentimes in cases, thank you so much, in cases like this, abductors will look for a vacant property or structure near their victim and use it as a kind of hideout from which they can keep tabs on the person they are following. Anybody else antennas is going off now? Right? Wow. Oh, there are a few things I have to say about this. Let me just pause because y'all know I'll forget. Okay, so playing devil's advocate. So if they use it as a kind of a hideout so they can keep tabs on the person they're following, wouldn't the people in the neighborhood, wouldn't they be looking like this person shouldn't be here? Right? This person shouldn't be here. That person shouldn't be here. You know, wouldn't they see this person going in and out of this dwelling? Unless they were coming at night. Is that why they're asking about January 11th? That just got a lot of my antennas going. The former official said that the authorities are likely examining any empty homes near Nancy's dwelling for this reason, investigating whether those responsible for her disappearance used any local property as a staging area before carrying out the crime. They could look at these kinds of homes as possible home bases or staging locations for the suspects. It will provide them with a cover story to be at those locations at different times. Krieger noted, adding that these properties would enable a kidnapper to remain under the radar while watching the activity in the neighborhood. I mean, they were worried about they weren't worried about the media. I think the neighbors were worried about the wrong things. I think they worried about the wrong things. Dates ever brought up have been during weekends. Okay. Judy, I would love to talk. You say your two sons? Oh, I would love to talk to them about that. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm just intrigued with so many things. And a Navy SEAL? Ooh, I like to train with them. Okay. So, a location like a vacant home out of the prying eye of the neighborhood could also be a location to set up surveillance equipment if anyone chose to do so. It could be easily stashed in a structure or on the property without anyone knowing he went on. Now, we have to think about this. Nancy's neighborhood is not a neighborhood that gets a lot of traffic. So if we see someone coming in, unless they're dressed like one of the neighbors, they on the bike like one of the neighbors, I couldn't see like a motorbike coming through there because it will make too much noise. These people didn't want us there. I was like, they want quiet. How could someone... I know there's always a few. Maybe a lot of people, most people in the neighborhoods are just going about their business. They got their head down. They're just doing what they got to do, right? But these people are retired. And there are certain neighborhoods that have apps just for people in the neighborhood. Hey, you see this person? This person don't look like they belong here. And they're just chatting. And then there's always one in the neighborhood that is talking about everybody. Not talking about everybody. They're on everything. Did you see this? Non-stop. Even if it's somebody that's not even, right? They're like, oh, that's so-and-so granddaughter, right? Oh, well, their who is that guy with them? That's her fiance, right? He works for whoever, JP Morgan and Chase, right? I don't know, he works for JP Morgan. It's always one. So to know that, or to hear, or to not know or hear that the nosy neighbor in her neighborhood doesn't know anything. I did hear that one of them was an Airbnb. I guess their practice is over. It was football practice. It was track. Okay. So, I mean, I feel like, okay, so if there was an Airbnb, then that can be tracked. That can be traced, right? They leave, the FBI can contact them. I feel like that's something that can easily be checked out. Now, the one that they said where someone left, if that's the Airbnb, then I would think that the FBI is definitely questioning these people. But if someone is stashing something, they're hanging out, I don't think that that's a neighborhood where people are not paying attention. I just don't think that. Most of the time in the hood, they're like, oh, you can come do this. People are like, oh, we see it. They talking amongst themselves. But I don't feel like that is a neighborhood where people aren't paying attention. I don't feel like that. I do feel like someone knows something, whether they're in that neighborhood or not, whether they live in a neighborhood, someone does know something. So it says, as for why such a property might only have come under investigation, Krieger noted that, and this is just someone's opinion. This is a retired someone. So they value their opinion. They value this person's opinion because they have experience. So Krieger noted that the authorities may well have received a tip from someone who has only just remembered something unusual about the dwelling or person they may have seen there. See, adding investigators are likely pursuing any and all avenues available to them as the search goes on. His insight into this case comes amid mounting criticism of Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, whose handling of Nancy's case has faced increasing scrutiny in recent days, most recently today. This week, a petition was circulated calling for Nanos' resignation from his position with the Arizona Republic, revealing that Tucson Republican Daniel Gutierrez, who is running in Arizona's 7th congressional district, was going door to door attempting to collect signatures for recall of the sheriff. Well, damn. Wow. I'm looking for people to help us out. Get involved, go out, get signatures. You can have Democrats, Independents, Republicans sign these as long as they live within Pima County. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what this case is about. And I'm scared of retaliation. So I live here. So I am very careful about what I say, if you get my drift. Okay, so now we have Nanos has come under heavy fire over the lack of progress on Nancy's case. Criticism that reached fever pitch after it was revealed that he had failed to disclose pertinent details about the start of his career during a sworn deposition in December. This is why they're calling for him to be questioned under oath again. We'll talk about that when we close. During the deposition, Nanos was asked specifically whether he had ever been suspended, which he responded no. However, it was later revealed that you are the father. No, it was later revealed that he had actually been suspended 8 times during the early days of his career. That's a big no. It wasn't one time. 8 times. You forgot about 8 times? Jesus Christ. Okay, let's keep going. The Pima County Sheriff's Department previously attempted to ease concerns by issuing a media update that addressed furious backlash over errors that were identified in Nanos' online biography, insisting that these were simple clerical errors. The Pima County Sheriff's Department recently identified 2 clerical errors in Sheriff Nanos' publicly posted resume. We talked about that a couple Fridays ago. The statement read both date and discrepancies were administrative in nature and were not intended to mislead or misrepresent Sheriff Nanos' work history. So I want to know, well, when did you realize it was a clerical error and why wasn't it fixed? Just asking. Was it yesterday or was it when people brought it to the attention? Okay, so according to the department's spokesperson, the errors identified related to the dates listed for Nanos' professional achievements. The lack of clarity surrounding his work history is set to be discussed when the county's Board of Supervisors meet on March 24th. What's today? March 24th. So if you all were in, I think it was Mark, I know I definitely saw it on 857. I couldn't hop in, but I did give them a thumbs up, which I always do. I'm looking for my cord, y'all. Everything is dying. So today was March 27th. So today is when the lack of clarity surrounding the sheriff, Pima County Sheriff Nanos' work history is set to be discussed today, which it was, when the county's Board of Supervisors met, March 24th, today. We're going to close with that. Pima County Supervisor Matt Hines made his opinions on Nanos clear. Okay. Telling the Republic, when you see something this troubling and serious going on with one of your county office holders, it is very, very important for us to investigate as fully as possible and to find out more information. He added, this man has been living a fraud for the past 43 years in Pima County. I would love to see him removed. Holy S-H-I-T. Well, damn. Well, damn. Oh, well. Okay. So, okay. Now, who is this? He is Pima County Supervisor Matt Hines. Well, I told y'all, there are a lot of people here in Pima County that do not like Nanos. But evidently, there are a lot of people that do like him. If it was only 400 and some odd votes that he won, then, I do. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. So we're saying that Nancy Guthrie's abductor likely had as many as 4 accomplices. But let's go to this. What I want to go over is, wait, hold on. I thought I posted that. All right. I think I posted something, but I thought I pressed post, but I don't think it went through. So let me see. Okay. There was something that I just saw. Here it is.
Hey guys, so an interesting development with the Nancy Guthrie investigation when it comes to the sheriff, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos. So there was just this county supervisors meeting, so that's the government body over Pima County, where they voted unanimously to approve a plan to require the sheriff to report under oath about several issues. Now, remember, these issues have come out about whether or not he lied about his resume and disciplinary issues he had at his previous job decades ago in El Paso, and there are accusations he lied under oath. So now they're going to try to call him into the supervisors meeting and ask him questions about this, it sounds. And there's also a recall effort that's underway to have a recall where there could be a special election. Bottom line, though, there's a lot of people, it seems, in the county that want to throw out the sheriff. And there have been issues, I guess, for a while, but the Nancy Guthrie investigation seems to have sort of been the icing on the cake for a lot of the locals. The sheriff has maintained that, he's done nothing wrong, that he wouldn't change anything about the way he handled the Nancy Guthrie investigation. But it's just kind of interesting to watch some of these local politics play out. And I'm going to kind of keep an eye on it. And what's also interesting is, the sheriff's a Democrat, and some of the people who really want him thrown out are also Democrats. So anyway, just wanted to give you the update because they just voted on that at the supervisors meeting. I've been watching it online.
So everyone has been watching this supervisor's meeting today, right? Okay, so y'all, I really need to find my charger. But I've been out the house since I left the house this morning. So I have not been back home. So I have like 80 million bags. And I was using it earlier for my laptop. So I'm hoping it's in this bag. Please, Lord Jesus, let it be in this bag, because I really don't want to lose. I don't want to lose that cord. I need that cord. So we don't know. Okay, what we do know is they voted. And now Pima County Sheriff's Department, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos is going to have to testify under oath or be asked questions under oath in regards to the questions that he answered under oath. That sounds crazy, right? This really, it's unfortunate that all of these things have happened. And while people are playing politics, that an 84-year-old woman is missing. That's the sad part. While people are playing politics, an 84-year-old woman has been missing has been abducted and missing for 52 days. Okay. Y'all, I cannot find a damn... Here. So, it must have fell in between something else, right? Okay, so we got this. We got this. I was listening to a book on tape while I was walking, so I used more of my phone than I wanted to. Okay, so now, all right, here we go. We got some juice. Now, oh, that's so nice. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this and then we're going to head out, because I need to be home by 7:30. I told y'all my son, like, you gonna be home? You gonna be home? You can get away with a lot at night, especially in that neighborhood. Natty, that's a great point. That is a great point. Okay, so I think this is the same article. That is a great point, because at night it's so dark. The only thing I would say is if they were in a car. If they were in a car, then the CCTV cameras that people had in that neighborhood would be able to see the cars pass, right? Or the car pass, because they're not going to get a lot of traffic at night. Not like what our sheriff said. It's not going to be over 100,000 cars traveling through that neighborhood at night. That's not, we know that that's not true. We know that that's not true, right? So, but I do agree, if they come in on a bike, on a regular bike that's not an electrical bike, if they come in, what if they come in walking? And if they coming in late, we know people go to bed early, because they up early walking at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and let's just take it a little bit further. A criminal is going to find a way to commit their crimes. So they're saying that, okay, so again with the New York Post, all right, I watched some sort of meeting today with the city or county leaders, people asking them to not certify the results of the election and to fire Nanos. So a lot of people, what I thought about when I heard about this meeting and what the result was, I'm like, so people may not be, I wish more black people were like this in our communities. They may not say nothing, they may not say anything online, but when it comes down to them doing something, they are at them city council meetings. What the hell are y'all doing? Right? Get these people out of our neighborhood. What did I say? We need more black Karens. Now, there is a video that I'm going to release of some black Karens, but those are the old bitter bitches, right? But I'm going to talk about, like, we need more black Karens. Sometimes the Karens are getting ish done. People that are in these communities, they are at these city council meetings and they are voicing their opinions about what they want and what they don't want. And the more money you have and the more affluent your neighborhood is, the more you're going to get done. They got us out. The people, Nancy's HOA and the people in her neighborhood, they got us the F out in 2.5 seconds, didn't they? You want a $250 fine? No. That's a plane ticket somewhere. The hell you mean? Right? Okay, so what is this? So it was interesting to watch. It was very interesting to watch. And I'm just sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen. Now, if I'm not making the donuts or learning how to make the donuts, you best believe my behind is going to be there if I can. I want to hear him testify under oath. I want to see that live. I don't want to look at it live on I live here. If I'm not making the donuts or learning how to make the donuts, then my behind will be there because I want to see. This world is crazy. Hide your children, hide your wives, hide your grandchildren, hide your grandparents. Because the fact that this is happening and we're at 52 days and this woman is still missing, this is, I'm just in awe. Now they're like, Ninja, you didn't lie about this. Like I said, when did they find out that there was a clerical error? When did they find out? When did they realize, oh, you know what? This wasn't right. We got to redo this. Because like the guy said, you lived a 43-year life. Aren't they obstructing justice and can't they be subpoenaed to give up the tapes? Folayanara. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, but that's how that's how I hear it. Folayandara. I would think so if they wanted to follow through with that. They're obstructing justice and can't they be subpoenaed to give up their tapes? I would think so, especially if they go and get a search warrant or something. But I don't think that they really want to prosecute people like that. That's low-level crimes. This is why when you go out and you stalk someone and things like that, unless the person ends up dead or if they are severely injured, then and only then and only then will the money be available for that case, for them to investigate that case. If not, then it is a low-level crime and a person can keep getting away with it. It is almost like he knew the Wi-Fi internet was spotty and that their neighbors didn't use their cameras or have security. Natty said this. This perp has studied the area unless he is part of the area. And I agree. So I wonder, right? I had never been in that neighborhood before this. But it wasn't really spotty at night. And I wonder if it's spotty, period. Like, even now when we go out there in the daytime, it's spotty. And I'm like, well, why? Ain't nobody out there. Excuse me. So I don't know. I don't know. But I do agree that the person has studied Nancy's coming and goings. All right, the light looks better. I feel like they have studied her coming and her comings and her goings. I feel like they have Either they're a criminal mastermind or and this is a perfect crime, or ... That's all I could say. Or ... I just don't know. Because if they were so, because I was like, this person looks like they're not prepared, this, that, and the third. But it seems like, I mean, if there hasn't been an arrest or, you know, even if they have a suspect, I don't think that they would tell us that. But it's just, I feel like it's too, for me, and I'm not law enforcement, I just feel like at day 52, it seems like it's too dead for them to have some type of concrete evidence like, we know it's him, we just gotta prove it. That's just how I feel. I might be wrong. I could be totally wrong, right? That's just how I feel. Greetings, MK. So, the New York Post says Nancy Guthrie abductor likely had as many as 4 accomplices, retired Pima County detectives say. So, a retired Pima County sheriff's detective believes that Nancy Guthrie's kidnapping was premeditated and involved 2 to 4 accomplices. Kurt Dabb, who worked with the agency now, leading the search for the missing 84-year-old matriarch, told Parade that a high-profile abduction like Guthrie's would need more than just the masked armed men caught on the doorbell camera the night she vanished. Yes, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I haven't read these articles. This is why I'm stumbling through my words sometimes, because I haven't read these articles. It's just that I watch true crime and I'm like, I could put 2 and 2 together, and I do feel that it was more than one person. The one that came up to the house, he may have been the dum-dum. You know, they always get somebody that's low self-esteem, will just follow anything. Hey, we want you to go do this. Right? Now, was somebody already in the house? Did this person walk up to the wrong door? Because it's like he wasn't prepared. Right? But then it goes back to, it seems like it was well planned out. That's why I don't understand this masked man going up to the door. Maybe he went up and maybe they told him go to the door and he like, oh, not that door, dummy. Oh, let me go and get this. And I don't know, because if we didn't have this, we would have nothing. Okay. I don't know what the FBI has, right? Maybe I need to go and, hey, baby, Mr. FBI, what's going on with this case? No, let me stop. So, but we don't know what they have. But it seems like if this is the only thing that they released to us, this is not good enough for us to know who it is. So, I don't know, y'all. MK said, I feel like LE should throw a bone. Yes, because the bone that they threw is not, we can't find that one. Crime is never perfect. It always harms someone now and in the present or in the future. Curious George 5422. Yes. Okay. When I say a perfect crime, I don't mean it like that, right? Because just like the title of this, the different crimes have a rippling effect, and it affects everyone. The community, the family, the friends, it affects everyone. So yes, please. I didn't mean it like that. What I meant when I say a perfect crime, they have a TV show called Perfect Crime, Perfect Murder, whatever. It's where no one knows what has happened. That's when I say, because as a criminal, right? If I'm thinking like a criminal, which is kind of hard because I'm not a criminal. I'm not. Ooh, okay, don't go there, Shantae. So if I'm thinking like a criminal, I don't want to get caught, right? So I need to think about this as a criminal mastermind. And if they think about something and they look at it from all aspects, and we're sitting here at day 52 and we still don't know anything, I'm hoping that it's not a perfect crime. But what about all the unsolved crimes regarding other people? What about all the unsolved murders, right? So, yes, there's no such thing as a perfect crime because it affects people. But when I say a perfect crime, the criminal, if they have lived, they unalive someone and they done went on about their business and lived their whole life, got married, had children, great grandchildren, hi baby, and then they die, which has happened, And then they found out that this person was the murderer. That person, that criminal, will probably think that they have committed a perfect crime because they weren't caught. That's what I mean about a perfect crime. I'm a gambler and betting against the odds. I believe he was alone until we get more to prove there are multiple suspects. Oh, MK5608 said, watch the motorcycle guy in and out of JLR streams lies behind her. So that may be why they were talking about the house, the empty house, and the person hanging out there. But like I was saying, a motorcycle, right? Now if that is the, okay, let me just go down this rabbit hole. If that is the person, right? Or if they had something to do with it, they are bold as F to come back in the daytime. Because JLR is normally there from sun up to sunset, right? In the daytime, you're there? Well, that's bold. And you're still hanging around? I mean, if we're at day 52 and nobody knows anything, then maybe the abductor or abductors do feel very comfortable. Uh-oh. All right. They done found the light. Carol Ann, they said, come to the light. It's here. Thank you, J-Cat. You said a 7-cent. I appreciate you. If we didn't have that door cam, the family would be 1,000% the person they would be looking into. Tucson Prepper 311. That door cam definitely helps out a lot. But then, like I said, then there's questions like, so did she have cameras in the house? And y'all, I sound like a broken record. But if she had cameras in the house, then how did they take those cameras? Was there not a DVD? You know, it's just, I don't know the system that she had. But I feel like her being in a $1 million home, I don't live in a $1 million home. And I got cameras up the wazoo. I don't know. Okay, so Curtin Dab says, I believe there are anywhere between 2 to 4 accomplices. He said when asked if he thinks the suspect on camera acted alone. No, that was it. Oh no. The logistics of something of this magnitude is too much for one person, he says. It's too much for one person to handle, in my professional opinion, he says. Based on the facts as I know them right now, he added. It's more than likely the home was canvassed prior, either by the kidnapper himself or an accomplice, he continued. Whether or not they knew a camera was there was a culmination of their... Oh, let me see what this word means. Reconnoiter. Yes, I don't know. I learned a new word today. Extraneous. Now I can't pronounce it, but I was able to spell it right. The person couldn't spell it. I'm like EXTRANEOUS. I looked it up. I spelled it right. But okay. So let's see. Reconnoiter, to make a preliminary survey, inspection, or observation of an area, typically for military, engineering, or exploratory purposes to gain information. Okay. Yeah, y'all, I don't mind. I will look up a word in 2.5 seconds. Thank you so much, Travelcado. Thank you for the sunshine. I just didn't understand how everything is so messy with the case, especially this day and age. I agree, Natty. I just... It seemed... Okay. Can I go down that rabbit hole? I promise you, once I go down the rabbit hole, I'll come right back. Natty said, I just don't understand how everything is so messy with this case, especially this day and age, right? With the technology and everything, and with her being who she is, I I question when y'all say, oh, well, I feel like it's this person, or I feel like it was somebody close, I feel like it's this, you know, when I look at the lack of security, my mind tries to go that way. I'm not gonna lie, my mind tries to be like, well, now why would they leave her just out in the open like that? Why would they do that, right? So that's when my mind does go that way. But on the flip side, it's like, okay, was Nanos not prepared? Was he not equipped to handle a case like this? I think we all can agree, yes. If I need help, I'm going to say I need help. But I'm not a man. And I'm not the sheriff. So, okay. Okay, so MK says, no, it was 3 people and targeted. So I feel like it was more than one person. Because the person that came to the door just seemed like a dum-dum. Because like I said, if they reconnoiter. Okay, let me try to say it again. Reconnoiter. Okay, right? So if they did all of the surveillance and things like that, how did they not know that she had a camera at the door? Right? Was there actually blood droppings outside in the backyard as well? Was the door kicked in? You know, these are things that we don't have concrete evidence to know. We don't have concrete evidence to back, but 7:16. Okay, I'm going to finish this article and then I'm done. Dab agrees with other law enforcement experts that Guthrie's disappearance was not a result of a botched robbery. I don't think it was either, but a targeted kidnapping, again, referencing the front door footage. I don't know what this woman had in her home. I mean, her bedroom looked very nice, right? We can guess or assume that there was a safe. I know someone said that there was a safe in there, right? But some of these houses you walk in and they just look old as F. I don't know if it's, vintage and worth money. I'm just like, this looks like a mess. This doesn't even look nice. That's just my opinion, right? But what do I know? I don't live in $1 million home. So what do I know, right? But I do not think it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery either. Burglars don't go to burglarize a house with a full backpack. This was a kidnapping or an abduction, he said. At the end, it says, police have still not identified any suspects. And that's the sad part. That's weird. That's the sad part. I do agree that there were multiple people, but when there are multiple people or multiple accomplices, right? What happens is if they can catch the weak link, if they can catch one person, when there are multiple accomplices, if they can catch one person and that person is the weak link, they can get the rest to talk. Now, that is what happens a lot of times when people are caught. One, start snitching. Well, I thought we were just going over there to scare her. I didn't know that we were going to kidnap her. I didn't know that, you see what I'm saying? Well, I didn't know. It wasn't in the agreement for us to take her and abduct her. So that is, if it's more than one, then I feel like that is a bonus on for law enforcement, because if they catch one, then somebody may snitch. Then let's take it a little bit further, because if y'all watch true crime, if y'all following this story, y'all watch true crime, we know that sometimes it's years, or there's a girlfriend that knows something, and while she's in a relationship with him, she's not saying anything, and then once things go bad, it was, well, he told me he abducted an old 84-year-old woman. But it's only when she gets caught. Either she's a scorned woman or she gets caught with some rugs. Then people start talking. But I feel like something has to happen for this ball to really start rolling, for law enforcement to come to a conclusion and arrest someone. That's just my opinion. Okay. Natty says, I feel he was high and that's why he seemed like a dum-dum. Okay, right? Yes. Now, if he was, do we think... Oh, that's one of them green bugs. If he was high, let's go for a ride. Because I need to head home. It's 7:20. So let's play devil's advocate a little bit more. If he was high, then I feel like we will know that he wasn't the mastermind. Do you agree, Natty? If he was high, he was a dum-dum, he walking up there, I forgot there's a camera here. You know, I feel like there was some bad intel, because for that to be the only evidence, I feel like they did a good job planning out this crime. But maybe he was the weak link. Now let's play devil's advocate. What if they got rid of him because he made a mistake? But if he's high, right? If he made that mistake, sociopaths are normally can compartmentalize, right? Now, unless this was his first time doing this. So if let's say it was his first time doing this, but with your first time, you make mistakes. So that's why I feel like he was someone that they used to do this. Maybe they did that told him to walk up there, and walk up to the front door. And then he sees the camera. I don't know. Walk up to the front door, you covered up, you take the camera, blah, blah, blah. They could have used a scapegoat and then got rid of him. And now everybody looking for this dude and he gone bye-bye. But I feel like if he was a dum-dum and he was high, then I don't think that he would have been making that mistake, which is the biggest mistake, because now we have proof that something happened. I feel like he was a scapegoat. I feel like he was a scapegoat. Because with that mistake, I don't, and with all the intel and see, I can't pronounce it again. With all of the racontier, it has the word in it like recon, right? So with all of the recon and the intelligence that they did, I feel like if walking up to the camera and you know that there's a camera there, I just feel like that doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with everything else that has happened. I feel like it doesn't fit. 857 made flyers. I told him to post it in the homeless community since they had no access to the news. Oh, that's a great idea, MK. Thank you for telling him that. And okay, so you said he seemed very comfortable. She lived there since 1977, so she left the back doors unlocked, complacent on security. Now, if that was the truth, MK, I don't care how long I live where. I'm locking my doors because I watch true crime. And I know that people kill in those neighborhoods as well. Most of the time it's for money, your life insurance, custody of the children. You know what I mean? It's specific, but still, how many live in that house with the motorcycle guy? Or is it 3 for your theory? I don't know how many people were involved. I feel like it was at least 2. Maybe they used that person, but I don't believe that the person, the mask abductor, the alleged mask abductor is the mastermind. I just do not believe that. So someone said on here that there was a safe. Oh, MK, I reported the guy on the motorcycle to the FBI, knew living with relatives behind. Good. Good, good, good. I feel like it was at least one person, one other person. But I don't feel like that person was the mastermind. The person that they caught on camera. I feel like they used him. I feel like they used him for him to be the fall guy, just in case they got caught. Because like we said, with all that reconnoiter, that they knew that there was a camera at the front door. I just feel like that. You can't, if they're checking out the place, they're watching her, maybe the motorcycle guy, this, that, and the third. Can I get out this way? Yes. So if they're watching her, then why in the world, okay, I'm on my own internet. If they're watching her, then why wouldn't they know that there's a camera at the door? I don't know. It's just, there are too many questions, you guys. There are just too many questions. But maybe we'll get to some answers. Maybe we will get to some answers when it comes to Teacher Tay-Tay, in effect. Maybe we'll get to some answers when it comes to the sheriff talking about maybe we'll get some answers when it comes to the sheriff answering questions under oath. Now, this is my thing. Okay, he's answering questions under oath, right? But those, I don't think that that's going to be about the Nancy Guthrie case. I think that that's only going to be in regards to what he said when he was under oath, when he was hired. Now, could he end up, that's another question. If he ends up fired, right? If they end up firing him, then what does that mean? Does he lose his pension? I agree. She could have just forgotten to lock the door that night, but had the doors and windows locked on the first case night, 1/11, if that was a separate date on the porch. Okay. No, that's what I was thinking about, the safe, which could explain the time in the house. And then I thought about when someone broke into my workplace. Okay. So that was you that said something about the safe. Because in my heart, I don't believe it was a robbery. In my heart, I do not believe it was a robbery gone wrong. I do believe that it was a targeted attack, that it was a targeted abduction. I feel like either, like what Dr. Q said, either it was the person has a personality disorder and they just wanted her to hurt Savannah, or it was for money. But if it was for money, then it doesn't make sense, because they asked for the ransom and then they never responded again. So it's like, okay, was she unalived by mistake and they could no longer ask for money? But then they still offered money for her body, right? They're like, we just want her body. So it just doesn't make sense. No matter what avenue we go down, it just doesn't make sense. And then if it was a ransom for money and then she was mistakenly unalive, well, then in that case, it turns into, well, they're probably just going to get rid of her body and then just keep their mouth shut and then look over their shoulders for the rest of their lives. It's just weird, guys. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to stay on track, watching everyone, because I can't be out there at all times. I appreciate 857. I appreciate even JLR, right? He's home. but he's still focusing on the case and getting information. Brian Enton, I appreciate all of these people. Crime Network, Alex, I appreciate Behind Green Eyes, because I can't be out there, right? I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Tay got to make the donuts and learn how to make the donuts and then eat the donuts, and I got to do all these things because I don't have a personal chef and a cook and all this other stuff. Personal chef is a cook and a housekeeper. I don't have any of those things. I have to do everything myself. But not complaining, saying. So, but I will continue to follow the story just like you all. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to focus on the road so I can head home. And like I said, my son is like, okay, I thought you said 7:30. It's 7:30 and you ain't here. But I didn't even agree, right? That's the whole thing. I didn't even agree. It's just like, well, 7:30. Well, I didn't say I was going to be here at 7:30. All right, we in the hood, y'all. I don't know if you see this, but we are in the HOOD West Side Liquor Store. Okay. Do y'all know that out here in Tucson they have drive-through liquor stores? They have drive-through weed dispensaries. Yo, this is the most laid-back place. But we're gonna follow what's going to happen with Chris Nanos. Look at this accident. And they just left the car. Look at this. They just left the car sitting. What in the hell? I'm confused. Don't the tow truck people come? This must have just happened. Y'all see this? How in the hell? Oh, wait. Okay, so what's this? Be careful when you have a stalker and don't stream. Oh, yep, I'm leaving. I love you all. Take care. Thank you so much.